Hello, comic book readers, and welcome to another live episode of Off the Rack. I'm Sal.
And I'm Tiffany.
Of course, this show is here on youtube.com/ComicPop Returns. If you want to help us out, you can always support us by subscribing to this show or this channel, clicking the bell for notifications. It's because we only release like 2 or 3 episodes of anything on this channel per week.
Yeah.
So check out all the rest of the stuff we put out here. Right? Also, this show is sponsored by viewers like you. If you're watching the show live, guess what? You could be a sponsor of today's show just by using Super Chats. You can ask a question or comment. We'll read it here on the show, and then you're part of the show forever, and it keeps the riffraff out of the sponsorships, so no one's like, hey, I really didn't like how you reviewed that book, or hey, I really don't like that you guys only talk about blah, blah, blah. Who cares?
Like your face.
Well, if they didn't like our face, they wouldn't give us the money.
That's not true.
Thankfully, these people do. So we're lucky
if you
for
don't
it.
like our faces, that's
You
fine.
can listen to it. That's a great thing, is that the show's also in audio format. You can check us out on Spotify.
Exactly. You don't look at this.
No.
Or that.
Right? This or that.
Or those guys.
Or
back
smacking
there.
microphones.
Or smacking the mic. Well, that you do have to listen to that.
You do. You did have to listen to it because it happened, and it can't be unhappening
That's
because I don't edit the show. So we're going to be talking about some books that came out this week that we think that you should check out, but also that we reviewed, and we're going to recap them, review them, tell you what we thought about them, and then at the end of the show, we're going to recommend comics that are coming out this week.
That is
that
what
we
is
like.
going to happen.
That is what's going to happen. But
That's,
before,
we just looked into the future.
yeah,
We told you what was going to happen.
we know what's going to happen before it happens when it comes to the shows that we have every control over. But listen, before we jump into that, I thought it'd be kind of fun to talk a little bit about how this show is also brought to you by the Baltimore Comic-Con. We didn't put out any Baltimore Comic-Con videos like I said we would. So instead, or rather, until that happens, we're going to show you a couple of a little bit of a haul that we got from Baltimore Comic-Con. And we talked about it. You may have seen it on our TikTok. At TikTok, it's Comic Papa. But we picked up a slew of trade paperbacks. You're never going to get it on camera.
I really just was trying to get closer to me so
Okay.
I wouldn't drop them.
Oh, good.
But then I was like, wait, can I get it on camera? And no, I can't.
You know what? Maybe I should get another chair for them. You know what I mean?
No,
Like
this
for
is
the
fine.
other ones. So you can look at them and then put them someplace else.
I'll put them in my lap.
That's not a good idea.
It's going to go
Because there's
great.
too many of them.
Here
Because
we
that's the
go.
thing, is that when we were at Baltimore Comic-Con, we went to a bunch of different comic book retailers, and they had books available for 50% off, and then $5,
Wait, I need to actually
and
say
then
these out
$3.
loud. Yeah.
And so check them out. Like, I mean,
It's like Batgirl Volume 1 from the new 52.
yeah, we don't need to read them all. I'm just
Well,
showing.
what about with the people who are listening?
Oh, that's true. Well,
Yeah, there's Amazing Spider-Man, Mark of the Tarantula.
I don't even know.
We're gonna get thucked.
Right?
We're
I
gonna
don't
get
even know what this
thucked. I
is.
just thucked you right now. It's okay. Don't take us down. Wonder Woman, come back to me. All because I liked this bear.
Yeah, that bear was ridiculous.
That bear. We got the 12
Yep, both volumes.
and the 12 too. Also, Grayson,
Yeah, it turns out we never had it.
Volume 1.
Yep.
Dope. Green Arrow. Year 1.
Yeah.
Justice League Dark.
Yeah.
Volume 1.
Not the original volume 1, but still a
No.
volume 1. A run that you might be like, oh,
This is-
we should
it's-
cover that on the show, maybe.
It's the James Tynion one.
Mm-hmm.
We did part of it because we did the
Witching Hour.
Witching Hour.
Yeah.
We got the Fantastic Four, X-Men.
Yes. Remember that crossover that Chip Zdarsky wrote that was great and then made completely irrelevant thanks to Dan Slott?
Superman Metropolis.
I can't believe we didn't have that.
Hulk Wolverine 6 hours. I almost said 6-pack.
It's just,
Because they
well, I'm
both
sure
got
they
them.
have them.
They got 12 packs.
So bizarre.
Daredevil in Marked for Death.
Yep, this was half off. So half off cover price meant that this thing, which was originally $9.95, was $5.
We got 2 different epic collections of the Fantastic Four.
These were also half off.
The new Fantastic Four and the Mystery of the Black Panther.
Right?
It is a mystery. We only find them when they're dead. Volume 2.
Yeah. Brand new damn trade.
Batman DOA.
This is also half off.
Aquaman Time and Tide.
Mm-hmm.
Tangent Comics.
Volume
Volume
1. Yeah, that has Tiffany's favorite design for a Green Lantern.
I fucking love that Green Lantern. Man, I love it. Man. Fantastic Four. Flesh and Stone? That's really hard to read.
Yeah, I thought it'd be kind of fun. I like doing Fantastic Four. You'll see that on back issue soon. Not that one.
Hulk vs. Thor, Banner of War.
This is half off.
Half off.
I bought it on Amazon to do on the show, and then I got that half off, and I'm returning the other one to Amazon. I'm like, get the hell out of here.
Totally fair. JSA, The Liberty File. So this is a little 2-pack.
Yeah, I was like,
action in
JSA
there.
versus Joker? I don't know. I'll check it out.
The Dark Knight Returns.
This is the 10th anniversary volume. I was like, we don't have this. I really wanted it.
It's gorgeous.
Yep. Oh, and also this one.
The Dark Knight Returns.
This is the first printing of the original trade. I had this. I won it in a raffle. And then I just got this.
I love these moody ass
black
and white photos that they put.
Young Frank Miller with all the hair.
Yeah, I love it. Icon.
$3.
Fables. 1001 Nights of Snowfall.
I think this was $5.
It was $5, and I was like,
hardcover.
Hardcover. Like I can't get over that. Supergirl Volume 1. I just wanted it.
That was a $5 bin.
Yeah, I just wanted it.
Mm-hmm.
Iron Man Armor Wars 2.
Yep, I would like to do Armor Wars 2. I thought you guys really liked our episode of Armor Wars on back issues.
Marvel Team Up.
Yep, we got this one.
Child.
I got a couple of volumes of this. This is the first volume. It's from Robert Kirkman.
Oh.
Now I'm hitting your mic.
My mic is just in the way, everybody.
Yeah.
It's in the way. I'm just going to yell at it. Phoenix Rising. Look at that.
I don't even know.
X-Men Eye of Destruction.
Is it I or Eve?
Eve of Destruction. These look like Y's when you're doing it fast. I picked this up. Multiverse role-playing game. It was $3. I was like, why not?
I don't even know what it is.
Batman New Gotham Evolution. I literally couldn't get over the art.
Yep.
You were there. I picked up a Hellblazer volume because they're all weird the way they collected them.
Yes, they are.
This is rare cuts. So this is actually a series of like issues from a lot of different writers. So,
yeah. Was Ennis on one of them?
Yes.
Yeah, we should have done.
Brought it over to him
And had him sign it.
But
because he was there and his table was surprisingly uninhabited.
Right. I also picked up because I had the Fables book in there, and then I saw this, I think, in the same bin. So it was like $3, I think, as well. So Bill Willingham, writer of Fables, is writing Sandman Presents Taller Tales. I was like, okay.
You're like, okay, Bill, I'm in.
Might as well.
Yep.
Fallen Angels.
Both volumes.
Yep. Volume 1 and 2.
I don't even know what this is. And you were like, I want this.
This is a Tiffany. I was like, I have $3 each, I think.
$3 each.
I was like, I might as well. Hardware.
Another $3 bin. Fine. I was like, wait, this is... Wait, these are hard. What? Like, literally, I saw that hardware volume in another bin for $30.
Yes, you did.
And I was like,
and this is like brand new.
It's brand new.
It's like brand freaking new. Like it was. It's like they was put in the wrong place. I don't know.
Yeah.
Lucifer Volume 2.
Yep.
Because why not?
Because we have Volume 1.
I pointed this out to Sal, and then we bought it. This is JLA Cyberforce.
I'm surprised we didn't have this. This marks, of course. Yeah.
The one and only. I bought Silver Coin Volume 1.
The first volume of this
$5.
run. Yeah, $5.
Grabbed this Green Arrow, The Archer's Quest. Again, couldn't get over the art.
And the soft touch cover. You were like, oh my God.
I was like sitting there, I was like, oh.
And like the design.
Ooh, I everything about this book is
I've never seen a DC comic that looks like this.
I freaking love this. This is gorgeous.
Yeah. And Phil Hester. Nice.
Yeah, I'm telling you. Swamp Thing, this is the Rom V.
Both of them.
Yeah.
You got the entire run of the Rom V, the Swamp Thing run.
These are 50% off.
These were half off. So it wasn't, wasn't a steal, but it was still better than cover price. It was a steal.
And then we got Marvel team ups as well.
The rest of them. Yeah. Yeah. That was all half off, $5, $3. So we got like, I don't know, several $100s worth of trades, as you can see, for a significant discount. We were actually very disappointed because we've been talking about going to Comic-Cons to save money and get like discount trades and such like that. We've actually made exclusive videos that are on both this channel and of course on TikTok and Instagram, where you can find us going into dollar bins and showing off. But then we went to New York Comic-Con and there were no $5 trades.
Yeah, we were like,
and I was like, oh no, we led everyone astray.
We're frauds.
We're total frauds. And then our cup runneth over at Baltimore Comic-Con. So even if you didn't want to meet some incredible creators or some really fun people who just make that show worth going to, you could also just get an assload of comic books for pennies on the dollar for your viewing pleasure. I should also point out that this assortment here tipped us over the scales. The ComicPop library now officially, because it had, I'm sure it was almost there, but it has officially over 2,000 trades and or hardcovers in the library. We have 2011, not including, of course, all the trades that are so old they don't scan.
That's dope.
Which, of course, is a significant amount of them.
Sure.
Because, I don't know, ISBNs expire.
I didn't know that.
I guess, yeah. Neither did I until comic books. Comic books, baby. But let's jump into a couple of super chats, and then we'll talk about some comics. That way we get it all out of our systems here. Brian Rollins jumped in earlier to say, I'll be catching it on the rewatch. I just want to support ComicPop as much as possible.
Well, it's very
We
kind
do
of you.
appreciate it. Thank you, Brian. And we should point out, of course, that the best way to support us is, of course, by watching our shows and subscribing to the channel so you can catch us when we are releasing those shows. We just had a really fun conversation with Jim Zub over on the Elseworlds Exchange. It marked the return of creator interviews because I was just sick of it. I was like, you know what? If we're going to not do great this year in terms of retention, views, whatever, I might as well just do what makes me happy.
I love your relationship with creator interviews so much.
Because I love them and I think they're important. It's like, eat your damn vegetables, folks. These are cool.
But
You're learning a lot.
They're not in the house. They're not in the private conversations where it's just like, I love doing creator. Let's do it. I don't even care. I love doing it. Oh my God. Nope. We can't do them anymore. Nope. We're done for now. We're done with those. You know what? No, I want to do them. They're back.
Yeah.
I love the roller coaster ride.
I'm sorry it's such whiplash for you, but the fact is, I have a love-hate relationship, but I never hate it. I hate how badly they do.
Get Tom King back because I want to listen to it.
Yeah, we'll see.
That's just for me.
I do. I mean, Tom is a strong acquaintance of the show.
He's a friend of the show.
Yeah, he's a friend of the show.
He's a friend of you. And I like that.
Is he?
Yeah. Well enough.
You
guys do a good
we're
show.
like work friends.
You're work friends.
Yeah.
You're work friends.
Right? He and I have never dined. And that, I think, is the mark of a true friendship.
You didn't eat at San Diego Comic-Con together?
He didn't eat.
Oh, okay.
I didn't eat in front of him either. I wasn't like, you're not going to have any?
He didn't have the carnitas?
He did not have any carnitas. No, Dinesh and I had carnitas.
I know you had that.
Yeah.
With him.
Yeah. But
so I need your friends.
Yeah, but I should also point out that if you want to help us out a little more directly, you can always use super chats, but you can also see the little, if you're watching this after the fact, you're like, damn it, I missed out on doing the super chats. Well, guess what? There's a little extra. You can hit that little heart with the $sign in it, which I think is so gross. It's like, you can love with money, but it's a thanks button. And you can use that.
You can buy love.
You can buy love. And it'll like have a little thing next to your name in the comment section. I hate it. I'm sorry. But like that's one way to do it.
Yeah.
Or if you want to do it more directly, patreon.com/ComicPop. We have an exclusive show that's not at all like Wake Up with ComicPop. It is, but it's also its own wholly original thing.
Yeah.
That is just about the behind the scenes. It just talks about like the goings on, what we're doing, what our pitfalls and possibilities and concerns are. So check out the Patreon. We also have early access to back issues and so forth. I think I should put actually. Oh crap! Did I not? Yeah, I did. Okay, yeah. This week's episode is behind the Patreon thing. It's
nice. There. That's great.
Yeah.
And at least, hey, listen, YouTube lets you know about the super thanks.
Right? I did.
They tell you.
Oh no.
Unlike with Twitch and the donations, which I discovered the other day. Last year we had a few, and I didn't even see them. So I want to apologize to everybody.
Yeah. And if you want to watch Tiffany play video games, you can go to twitch.tv/ComicPop or visit ComicPop Plays on YouTube, which is a re-upload of those streams. Right now, we're re-uploading Batman Arkham Asylum, the first game, which you played after playing Arkham City and Arkham Knight.
Well, I mean, I had played them all.
You did, but like
I had never streamed
Arkham Asylum,
exactly. And so you guys got to watch me go through that, having not played it since I don't know how long ago.
I know.
A while ago. So that was fun because I literally was like, I know there's a way out of this situation I'm in.
I've gotten out of it before.
I forgot how short it was.
It is short.
I was like, oh,
it's over.
Oh, okay.
I'm already fighting a stupid Joker.
Additionally, the PC port's horrible.
Yeah.
It's not good.
Yeah, but that's a good way to help us out. You can check out those other channels, of course. Elizabeth Russell in the super chat says, "Hey guys, hope you're well." We are. Thank you very much, Elizabeth. I was wondering if you had a chance to read Penguin 1 Bad Day, one of the best Penguin stories in my opinion. I still haven't. It's over there. I keep looking at it and going, "Oh, I should sit down and read that," and then I didn't.
Well, that's what happens when you bring them here.
Yeah, well, but sometimes. I do read more things here.
Do you?
I think so.
Okay.
But I will read it at some point someday. Nick Prado, really enjoyed the Deadly Duo. I can't really put my finger on it, but I really enjoy how Batman acts in this comic. Thank you guys for all the content. Thank you very much, Nick Prado. I sat down to read a bunch of comics today, and I did. But Batman and the Joker, the Deadly Duo #1 from Mark Silvestri was one of those things where it was literally, not literally, it's figuratively like that commercial for Kirby where the fat guy eats like too much and explodes. I was like, I looked at the first page and I was like, no, I do not have the stomach for Mark Silvestri's art right now. I was like, I like his art, but it's like it's very specific. It's all the sketches. It's like enhanced pencils and stuff, and I'm just like, I can't now.
Were you the bunny who gets the pancakes?
I was just the bunny gets the pancake. Yeah, I just couldn't. I reached my limit on that one, but I will read it, and I do. I did recommend it last week, so
you did.
Denial. So out of curiosity, will you be subjecting Ethan and Ben to Dark Knight's death metal, and why would you kill two men on stream like that? We would lose our funding, or rather our monetization status, if I did that. But you can be sure that one day we will do death metal. I did want to do lead up to the Dark Crisis, so I think I need to start with death metal so we can reach the limit of readers' patience, because we have to do Infinite Frontier, and then Justice League Incarnate, and then really the Death of the Justice League / Dark Crisis on Infinite Earths, which we will cover on the show. But I'm like, man, but I also really want to I don't want to have to explain like how bad things got before we got there.
I'm just glad I don't have to be a part of any of that.
Yes, you do.
No, I
Devil
don't.
Ham, I liked your faces. Anyway, any chance for Dark Victory in 2023? There's always a chance.
We need to circle back around to that other thing.
Carl Maxey, I'd be very interested to know a philosophy professor or any religious leader read Marvel's Judgment to hear their thoughts on the event's theme.
Yeah.
I would like to hear a homily about that. That'd be interesting.
No, I would. I think, like,
I think they'd find it blasphemous, but
as a philosophy professor?
No, but certainly a religious leader.
Oh, sure, but a philosophy professor.
I'm sure they'd be very intrigued by the concept.
Yeah, I mean, maybe not. Maybe they wouldn't think it was necessarily blasphemous. Maybe they would think it was a cautionary tale about, like,
right.
like
about idolatry.
Man cannot create
God.
Yeah.
Yeah. Supreme Omega. Hi, Tiffany. Hi, Sal. Hope you're well. Thank you very much, Supreme Omega. We hope you are as well. Thoughts on 90s Batman? Because I've been reading old Batman stories from the 70s to the 90s, and I feel like that era was creatively strong with the debut of Tim, Cass, and Steph. That's really more like the late 90s, early 2000s for Batman, at least as far as I'm concerned. 90s Batman for me is like Jim Aparo, Alan Grant, and that kind of thing. Norm Brayfogle, really the debut of Tim. Steph and Cass are like way on the other end of that. There's so much that happens in 90s Batman until it all gets derailed by Nightfall. And Nightfall is just like, I think Nightfall is a great demarcation of like, this is when things change, like irrevocably for Batman. It went from being like a book you can skip, a book you could just bomb in on. You can be like, I've read Batman about 5 or 6 years. You think I'll jump in on Batman? Like, a 3-part Penguin story. To, I am a regular Batman reader because I don't want to miss what's happening. And then each year, something wholly significant happens to Batman. No pun intended. Dan Hardcastle. Hi from West Yorkshire, UK. Well, cheerio. On the topic of 80s Batman, what would have been the death of the family in the Family if the phone vote had gone the other way and Jason lived? Lugs and hugs. Thank you very much, Dan. Honestly, we've seen it. They weren't sure because of the nature of the gimmick. And so they had Jim Aparo draw both. And in fact, the first time anyone ever saw it was in a recreation of the page that had circulated DC for years in the Superboy Prime hitting reality special, where they just they kind of repurposed that page, but changed it a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that was the first time. And if you just Google it, you'll find that page, and it's basically 1-to-1 of Jim Aparo just finding Robin and saying he's alive, thank God.
Did you see Joe Aparo finding
Jim
Robin?
Aparo drawing Batman finding Robin, and basically what would have happened is probably the same thing as what happens. Superman would have stepped in. Batman would have been brought to the edge, angry that the Joker had brutalized Robin this badly. I think I remember seeing recently, within the past year or two, new pages, or rather new old pages that Aparo had drawn that basically depicted Robin's going to make a recovery, but it's going to be long and hard. And it's because we also know that Robin is unpopular and we do need to do something about this character. Maybe, and in fact, if we have to assume that's the case, Robin was unpopular, maybe they were going to write him out of the book or work him out in some way. Maybe this would have been the first Robin that got fired, and then this Jason Todd would never have left the Pantheon. You'd never have had the immortalized image of Robin's costume in the cave, although that isn't the first time it was there. Jason Todd's costume was originally first depicted in the cave as a monument in Dark Knight Returns. And he only did that because Jason Todd was the most recent Robin. So he's he'll die.
at some point.
and we'll do it like this. And then the comics were like, let's do that. It's like Killing Joke, where it's like, ooh, that was good. Let's just keep that. But yeah, my guess is that Jason Todd would have just been like this like directionless character that would have like annoyed the Bat family until eventually they either killed him off or done something with him that maybe might have resembled the Red Hood.
It would have been interesting if instead of like creating Damien, if the Al Ghuls had just taken
Jason Todd in, which he did eventually. I mean, they did that in the canon, but much earlier.
But I mean, like,
and without death.
Yeah.
Yeah. Abe Sapien. So Fables is happening on back issues, right? Please.
Probably not.
Yeah, probably not. All right, let's jump into some books. Tiffany, what did you read this week?
Why don't you go first?
Fine. I read this book from Rainbow Rowell and Luca Maresca, which is called She-Hulk #7. I did not prepare that. There it is. Hey, She-Hulk #7. I haven't read this book in a while, so I actually went back, and it turns out I only missed issue 6. That was the only issue I hadn't read from this run. This is straight up just a like like a rom-com romance kind of comic book for Marvel.
Okay.
It's about She-Hulk kind of like getting back into it. It's reestablishing Jack of Hearts, and there's romance in it. And She-Hulk, Jen Walters, like status quo. It's really fun. Luca Maresca's art is great. It's perfect for this kind of like talky book. Not a lot of action, but the action is really in the drama or the like melodrama.
Right.
It's not like the melodrama of your like classic Spider-Man like love triangle kind of situation. This is just more like this is Jen trying to like make her life and do this thing. And Nightcrawler is in this issue. No, he's in the last issue. This is an issue where we see what Jen is up to post maybe hooking up with Jack of Hearts. It's a cute book. I really enjoy it. I think Rowell's doing a good job with it. So if you like that kind of like more quiet story from Marvel, I would highly recommend you check it out.
Nice.
Speaking of books that are off people's radar from Ed Brisson and Kev Walker, Predator #4 is out, and it's as good as the last 3. Excuse me, I had a thing in my throat, so I had to clear it out. But
That's fine.
Yeah, don't let the cover fool you. It doesn't look like this. It's I'm just like, man, why are you gonna make it look so different? It's nothing like a Predator comic book or movie at all. Huh. You know, this woman's when she was a little girl, her parents were murdered by a predator, so she her mom cut the mandible off a predator, and she dedicated her entire life to hunting down the predator that killed her parents. So she's like basically the Batman of the Predator universe.
She's the Punisher.
Punisher, really. And she she steals like a ship from the like government and uses it to like, actually it's her parents' ship that she just fit. But yeah, in this issue, she's basically civilization catches up with her. In Theta, that is the main character, and she gets into a really fun fight with a predator, which you can check out. It's more of a space battle, but there is like a really visceral like hand-to-hand combat kind of fight. And then it wraps up with civilization catching up with her, or so we think. It's a fun story, and I really enjoy it. I think there's only 2 more issues of this book left, so we'll see how it goes.
Really?
Yeah, that's it. It's a 6-issue mini.
Is she the predator in this?
Yeah, she is. Yeah, she's hunting predators, and she's killed like 6 or 12 or something like that.
It's a really big difference.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Right? It's whatever. But yeah, it's a cool book, and I dig it. But it took a while to warm up to it. You know what I mean? I was Yeah. I guess I could recommend this book. I read Night of the Ghoul, but I read all of it. So, but it's Scott Snyder, Francesco Francavilla. But if you haven't already picked up Night of the Ghoul #2 came out last week. And, it's just a fun little book about like movies and cults and horror. It's much more like grounded. This is the kind of thing that like Mike Flanagan would make. So I think out of all the
great idea.
I know. So I think you would enjoy it.
I really like Mike Flanagan.
I know you do.
I know we keep saying I should read this book, and I'm like, yeah.
Well, there's only 2 issues out, or you can read it on Comixology and read all of them.
I think I have the first issue.
We do. We have it
I got it in a dollar bin.
That's right.
At Baltimore Comic-Con.
That's right.
Literally, I went to the floppies. We didn't spend too much time there, but I spent some time there while you were getting your signature. And while I was on, I did Instagram Live, and then I messed that up, so no one got to see it after that again. So sorry.
Yep. It's no big deal.
But I went back, and I was just going through them, and I found like all these new issues, like some that had come out within a couple of weeks. I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So I don't
Chocobo Kid says, "Can we be friends, Sal? Maybe Tiffany too."
know.
Sure. Another book I read was from Kevin Smith with art by Jeremy Simser. I pitched this a while ago. Quick Stops from Dark Horse Comics, the first issue of what promises to be a kind of like, I don't know. I had thought it was going to be like an anthology book where it was like a bunch of different View Askewniverse stories in one issue. In fact, I think it's more like an anthology series where it's like each issue will be a self-contained View Askewniverse story.
Okay.
So this is a beginning, middle, and
So
end.
kind of like Silver Coin.
Like Silver Coin, yes.
Okay.
But all, I think, written by Kevin Smith. We'll see.
Okay.
But this one is tied directly in with Jay and Silent Bob Reboot, in which we see what happens with Holden McNeil, and Holden has we reestablished. I didn't realize like what the context was in Jay and Silent Bob Reboot, where Holden McNeil had moved from being like a comic book artist to being a podcaster. Obviously, he's an analog for Kevin Smith himself, but at Chronicon, the like Comic-Con of Bluntman and Chronic celebration, he's doing a podcast, and he tells a story about when he first met Jay and Silent Bob, and it turns out that Holden McNeil, in a big fat retcon, used to work at Quick Stop, and he met Jay and Silent Bob at Quick Stop, and what he did with Jay and Bob that got him fired and inspired him to draw them as superheroes right before he left Quick Stop forever and went to college and went on to bigger and better things.
Okay.
Leaving Dante and Randall, of course, in the dust. Neither character appears in this book, but it is a little fun story and an anecdote, and it's much more weed-centric than it would normally be. But, it's a fun little thing. I always like the Kevin Smith comic books, although I don't think I've read one that was recently published in like 25 years. Maybe go back and reread Clerks the comic book, Clerks the holiday special, the Clerks 2 comic book that also tied in, and it got me sitting down and writing again, which I do appreciate. That's Kevin Smith for you. This son of a bitch really inspires me, and I don't know why. He's always kicked my ass into doing something, and so I wrote a little something.
You did write a little something.
I'm working on it. I'm working it out. But if it crystallizes, who knows? Maybe I'll pitch the damn thing. We'll see.
I think you should.
I agree. Thank you.
Are we going to a book now, or
yeah,
are we going to super chat?
I guess we should do a super chat really quick. Mordecai says, had to order CrossGen Tales online because it seemed both my local shops had it or had any idea it existed. So your Wake Up podcast tale hit home to me recently. Doesn't help Marvel barely advertise that book.
I saw that literally only in like scrolling through new books, and I was like, what the hell is this? Like, that was it.
Yeah.
It's exactly that experience. I'm like, oh, Mark Waid wrote it?
Exactly.
I didn't grab it.
Yeah.
But it was like $9.
Yeah, it's true. Like, I know.
Money.
Yeah. By the way, I should also point out that if you weren't sure what I was talking about, I did make a podcast, a new show called Wake Up with ComicPop. It's like a commuter show. I'm releasing them at like 5:30 in the morning Eastern Standard Time. Maybe I shouldn't do that because it really does hurt the show. But I also want the show to be out for for you guys. So we'll see what happens. But
maybe we should find out when most people's commutes are.
Well, I did a little poll, and so I figured it would be a good catch-all to do 5:30 in the morning.
Okay.
I might move it to 6. We'll see. But for now, it's coming out then. It seems to reach the numbers eventually.
Okay.
But
that comment you threw up really made me laugh.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Thorn Identity, for mentioning that King is a vampire. Have I seen him in the daylight? Well, I've not seen him out in the snow. Yeah, I saw him at San Diego Comic-Con. It was during the day. No, it was like full ass sun. Like he would have burnt.
Okay, admittedly, I haven't,
Big
and I
time.
wasn't there.
No.
So it could have been a thrall thing. I don't know.
That's true.
You didn't see anything, or you're just saying that.
Yeah. Cat Lawyer will defend for treats. Obsessed with Spidey mods. Just saw John Romita Jr. one, and it's gorgeous. Even the McFarlane one. Hope Insomniac is taking notes of the sequel. Yeah, I just saw the 90s Spider-Man one, and it's friggin' incredible.
I like kind of get why they waited so long to put it out, because it's like this is kind of taking away from the excitement of what they'll put into the game. Like, everyone's like, I just want what I want now.
Right.
And I appreciate that. Like, everybody gets to have exactly what they wanted. Remember when that wasn't a thing?
Yeah.
And you were just excited. And you'd be like, oh, I wish they'd done this. Maybe next time. Now it's like, I don't have to wait for next time. I'll just find someone who does it for me.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah.
It's
but
weird.
Hey, you know what else is weird? That Deadpool hasn't been in print for a while, and they keep canceling this book.
Yeah, they do.
So
Deadpool
Deadpool's here.
#1 came out, but written by Alyssa Wong with art by Martin Kokolo.
Yes.
Which, like, my only benchmark for their art is you saying that.
Yeah. I know. I recognize it a lot. like every time I hear it.
Yeah.
And I looked it up, so I saw like it's pronounced Kokolo.
Kokolo.
But yeah.
Dope art. Really like the look of this.
Yes.
Sort of painterly looking. We get like a straight up Art Nouveau moment in this.
We do, and that was like,
ooh,
what?
Ooh, did you read this?
Yeah.
Oh.
Of course.
Oh. Okay.
I had a lot of time.
Oh, all right. Well, you must have seen it in my account.
No,
Oh God, we didn't both double buy it, did we?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I don't know if anybody else noticed this. This has got the X-Men, or the mutant like
graphics and crap all over it.
on the outside. There's
it's got the
X
thing.
logo. It's like, hey, no, this is tied into the X-Men universe.
He's in the X-Men family.
Yeah, like he's been involved with X-Force lately, so we're gonna keep this book in that family. So that means we're getting the credits page is gonna look like that. We can do like random info pages if we want. However, this book is not going that way at all. And I was like, interesting. And I don't know how I feel about that. Like, I kind of dig it.
Mm-hmm.
But like, it's weird juxtaposed against the fact that
it is part of it.
And he wanted to be so involved with the Krakoa.
Yeah.
And now we're like, not that he chose this. This is going a very different way. Like, Deadpool got invited to become part of an assassins group called the Atelier. And like, it's a super exclusive group. Super exclusive. And you get an invitation, and then basically you have 48 hours to kill a target. His target is Doc Ock, which I was like, well, I mean, he's gonna fail.
Right, he has to fail.
I don't think they're gonna kill him
again.
Right. And like, it wasn't like, oh, well, that's just lazy. That's clearly not what we're here for.
Yeah.
Like, it's
a storytelling device.
Yeah, it's a device, and it's very obvious that it's a device, but the real story is not about that. The real story is actually about another character who I will remember the name of in like just a moment or 7. The Harrower.
The Harrower.
The Harrower.
Yeah.
Her powers are biofusion and biofission. And she has a need for Deadpool, and that need is just that he is resilient.
Yeah.
He doesn't die easily. He can, come back quickly. He's got a great healing factor.
So we can use him.
Yeah. And what do we want to use him for? Well, as essentially it's so funny. We were watching something that included parasitic wasps.
Yes.
It's telling you synchronicities.
I know.
This is synchronicity. We were watching a documentary that was not about bees or anything like that.
It just
happened to mention parasitic wasp. And I was like, oh, gross. This book literally is like, let's talk about this parasitic wasp, but like injects its egg into another like being, like drags it to like its lair, and then like keeps it there so that like the egg can hatch. Right. She's like, that's what I'm going to do, because during that whole like
absolute carnage. It wasn't King in Black either. It was absolute carnage
event or storyline.
Yeah, it was an event.
It was an event. Like she grabbed a piece of it.
Yeah, a piece of carnage.
And it's not doing well. It's been dying. She's been trying to graft it onto things because her plan is utilizing her powers to take control of it.
Yep.
And then be able to rule the world.
Sure.
Or whatever.
Or whatever her plan is.
Step 3 profit. And she has not been successful to this point. So she decides to go a different route, utilizing the parasitic wasp idea. So she's going to use Deadpool to embed the part of the Carnage symbiote into him, and then basically have it create a new version of itself, like lay an egg and then live. She also mentions Cletus Cassidy.
Yes, because the Carnage and he are inextricable, and so as a result, like basically she's going to regrow. We're going to bring Carnage back to life.
Yeah.
By having him like emerge from Deadpool.
Right.
Unless Carnage is already alive, I don't know honestly anymore.
She puts like a piece of Cletus in there into him.
Yes.
And I guess so that it can feel comfortable.
Right.
So at the end of this, it's like, oh no, Carnage is coming. And Doc Ock's also like, cool.
Yeah, like what?
Neat. Science.
Yeah, and I like Doc Ock being in anything, just like doing things, being part of the Marvel Universe. He used to be a major player. He was in Age of Ultron.
What I do like about this is maybe Peter will show up, because like
probably not.
Peter and
Doc Ock have
Peter and Deadpool have like sort of fun dynamic.
Yeah, it's all Spider-Man stuff, except for Harrower.
Yeah.
Who was invented in a
it's like 2020
Man-Thing crossover,
which makes sense. She's reminds me a little bit of Poison Ivy, but also of Abby. Like Poison Ivy in terms of like seemingly having powers over plants, but Abby in terms of her look.
Right. Now Abby, of course, being from Swamp Thing, but still, like it's.
I know, but like that's
an amalgam. Harrower's like an amalgam.
It's a combination of like 2 DC characters plopped into there. So of course, that's what I was saying. Of course, she'd be connected to Man-Thing
Mhm.
because that's the closest we have
Yeah, that's right.
in the Marvel universe. Deadpool's voice overall, I got a straight up Ryan Reynolds vibe, but it also lines up with the direction that Marvel has been taking Deadpool
Yep.
recently,
Yep.
so it's not such a drastic change.
No.
I did find him to be less like sarcastic, jokey than he was in
Kelly
Thompson's run
Yeah.
for sure. But it's still fun. Again, the art for me really was doing something
Mhm.
quite a bit. I was like, oh, this is kind of cool.
Yeah.
But like for me, it was just kind of weird the juxtaposition of like just got Deadpool inserted into Krakoa, into X-Men,
Mhm.
got the branding on there, got the whole thing, Carnage.
Yes.
So
Well, I think that's a fun little like marriage of like Deadpool he's in the X-Men family. There's an X-Men family book. You got
Mhm.
all that crap. And he is also a big part of the Marvel universe.
Yeah.
Because Krakoa has been like largely separate, not including all the events and everything like that. But like Krakoa's over there, the X-Men books are over there. You could literally put the X-Men on another planet or in another dimension, like everybody suggested was going to happen during the Fox debacle. And you wouldn't miss a beat.
yeah, for sure.
Did Alyssa Wong create a self-insert character in this book?
I don't know. And here's why I don't know, because it's hard to tell because oftentimes now before I didn't read any news about this, so I don't know what everybody's saying about this, but oftentimes the artist
Will use
the writer at times as a reference to insert them, and it's less about them asking for it and more that the writer just decides to do it, or the artist just decides to do that.
Okay.
I've seen that on a lot of books where they're just like, I couldn't help myself.
I think that's what they did with I think Gory Hero did that with Heather Antos for Gwenpool.
Yeah, like it's
like I don't think Heather was like draw me. I think they were like it'd be fun if it was you.
Yeah, I mean, it's one thing when it's, if the writer specifically asks for it and it's, to make a character look like them who maybe doesn't normally. I think
there's
kind
a
of
book,
weird.
what was it? Like my daughter's like the Starfire book, the young adult
I don't
one.
know enough about that at all to say anything about it.
Yeah,
but
all I know is that's like it's more than a coincidence.
Sure.
You might say it's suspicious. Salvador LaRocca is the main character in that Alien book.
Yes. That's very different for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I've often seen artists do that, and you'll read about it where it's just like, and I couldn't help.
I just thought it'd be fun.
I thought it'd be fun. I wanted to do this.
Yeah, and you can't blame artists for that. They're they're creative creatures. They just like to draw. They just can't help themselves.
You can't help it.
They're a wild animal.
We literally years and years and years ago, we had an acquaintance. We were at a Comic-Con there, in like I think it was New York, and there was a web like toon style artist there. That wasn't a webtoons at the time, and we were chatting with them and they were like, oh my gosh, to this acquaintance of ours, they're like, can I take a photo of you?
Mm-hmm.
Because they're like, I love your look and I want to use that. So sometimes artists just resonate with a look. I don't know. I can't say for sure because
all I know is I was like, hey, it's the writer. And I only know that because we met her at New York Comic-Con and she was very lovely.
She was very nice.
But yeah, Deadpool, good like stuff. I think it's fine.
I thought it was fun. I think people who are tired though of the like Ryan Reynolds take on Deadpool,
ain't gonna get something else. Yeah,
this is not gonna be for you. But the fact is, if Disney Marvel like MCU is bringing him back in, this isn't going away for a while.
No,
they're gonna try to like keep that lined up.
I doubt he's gonna kill the Marvel universe anytime soon again.
Yeah,
so, but I think it's a good entry.
Yeah, I think it was fun.
And
again, the art's like really interesting because it's not standard.
No, it's not.
But it doesn't also feel like super artsy independent either.
Yeah,
it fits, but you're like, oh,
right, and it's like unexpected for a Deadpool book.
Yeah, there's a beauty to it. I think that's kind of interesting.
Yeah,
he's also pretty bulky in this, which I appreciate. Like, I feel like in the last one he wasn't quite so big.
No, he was very svelte.
But this one we're back to like a bulkier, bigger Deadpool.
I'm not wild about the logo anymore. It's an older logo, but it checks out. But I don't know. It doesn't match the Krakoa aesthetic. I think that's the problem. They didn't come up with like a Krakoa Deadpool logo, which they think they should have.
Maybe he'll ask for one.
Oh, that'd be kind of fun. That's free. You guys use that one. Ray Farr says ComicPop Woo. Been loving the ComicPop Plays channel, and I'm eagerly looking forward to the Avengers upload. Yes, that is in that's already on the channel, but it won't be out for a little while.
That wasn't an of like
no, not you. That was the book, or that was the game. Mordecai. Both my shops didn't have it, is what I meant to say. Yeah, no, that's true. Hrishi Venkatesh.
They wrote did have it.
Yeah, but he meant didn't
Yeah,
have it.
yeah.
No, we knew it.
Okay.
Going to my first big con this weekend at Harrogate, UK, hoping to get a ton and meet some of my favorite writers. Thanks for being great. A great comics on-ramp. Oh, our pleasure, man. Thank you so much. I'm glad we could help out. And have a great time at your show. Young Goku over 9000, eat your damn vegetables, folks. Sal of Comic Pop. I agree. They are cool. No, it's true. Thank you very much for enjoying them. And yeah, and listen, if you like, you put a little lemon on there and you put them under the broiler for a few minutes, those vegetables can get really delicious. Rayfar, thank you, Sal, for giving Matt some more love with last week's back issues. By the way, I've been looking at not reading the first 100 issues of Spawn. You got to do that. You can't read it or you'll go crazy. But yeah, that art is, good stuff. Dante Cook, Tiffany talking to King about Supergirl. What would be Woman of Tomorrow would be epic. I'm sorry, I'm not used to that. I'm just also, Tiffany, have you started Poison Ivy yet? The art and story keeps being so good. Wishing for nothing but good things for you both.
I have, and then I literally got overwhelmed by AXE. So, and I know it came out this week, and I was like, oh, I should totally get back on it. And then seeing it here in the list of things, I was like, oh shit.
Yep.
I forgot to get back on it. So I'm going to try to circle back around. In theory, the first volume should be coming out, so maybe I might have to just grab that. But I agree with you. That first issue that I read, that art was so good.
Yeah.
So good. By the way, I want to say thank you to everybody for the hat love today. I put it on. I literally turned around. I was like, I'm feeling dippy fresh. So yeah. Freaking love me some Gravity Falls. I should have worn my earrings. I got fun mismatched Gravity Falls earrings.
Yes.
I should have done dipper hat, Mabel sweatshirt, Gravity Falls earrings,
Boom.
and then just call me a weeb and I'll just go home.
I think you can be a weeb for something from the West, but yeah. I would also like to see Tiffany talk to Tom King about Woman of Tomorrow. I don't see it happening, but I would like to see that.
No, I'm not good with interviews.
You're great. I read Savage Avengers #7 from, of course, David Pepose and Carlos Magno. This continues the ongoing time slip saga of the unlikeliest heroes in the Marvel Universe, and Miles Morales as a Deathlock going around. They're in the year 2099. Things have gotten screwed up. Basically, the corporate wars took place, and they wanted Deathlocks because Peppo's likes Terminator like the rest of us, and so Miles Morales' Deathlock arm in the past gets picked up in the future, and they use it and reverse engineer it, and it becomes this whole thing of making Deathlock robots. And then not to be outdone, the other rival corporation, which I think was Stark Fujikawa, basically accidentally wakes up Ultron, and so Ultron basically takes over the year 2099, and Punisher 2099 teams up with the team, and they have a big fight. This is one of the most compressed Marvel comics you will read. This feels like a Marvel comic from the 90s. Really? In terms of it being about a bunch of characters that are all very distinct looking and all have very different personalities, but are all together trying to accomplish a goal. A lot of action, a lot of character, and in Easter eggs and fun references. The last page, I'm like, yay, this is gonna be great. So if you like that kind of, if you've been like, oh man, decompression, the name is modern comics, well then you should read Savage Avengers, because there's a lot of stuff happening. Character development, romance, and of course nonstop action, just a constant barrage of fighting and power displays. People are like, I saw an article the other day, where somebody was like, oh my god, Weapon H, we didn't know he could do that. And I'm like, that's because he friggin' couldn't do that. Until Peppo was like, wouldn't it be cool if he could do this? Because no one is using Weapon H,
right?
Because he's a throwaway character.
Right,
so let's use him now. And so yeah, it's fun. You should read Savage Avengers if you haven't already checked it out, because it's a cute little book.
Can I put you on the spot for a random
Why
Marvel
not?
question that you may not have the answer to?
Mm-hmm.
Have they ever done something where it's like Nimrod versus Ultron?
I have never seen it, but that doesn't mean that it didn't happen in some 80s or 70s book. But that's something that it's something that needs to be addressed, certainly, because Nimrod is the future of everything,
right? And
so is Ultron.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, Nimrod is the X-Men's Ultron, as far as they're concerned. But yeah. Oh man, I'm annoyed that Barnstormers came out and I didn't read it. I like that book. Ray Farr says, can we expect more some Hellboy on the couch? I adore Mignola's art, even though I've heard not glowing things about him. Also favorite Alan Moore adaptation, based on Mr. Sunday Movie's continuation of his Alan Moore adaptations saga, which I'm disappointed I was not invited to talk about. I would like to chat with them about that, but I'm happy to talk about it with you guys. I don't know, man. I like V for Vendetta. That's one of our favorites.
for sure. Well, you know what it is? I know, like, I tried to immediately get into V after that, and maybe I was just in the wrong mindset, but I could not jump
V isn't a
into
character in that comic. He's more of an
yeah,
ex.
and I realized that obviously the movies needed to take that to that book and adapt it into a way that was fit for the screen
Yeah.
telling of it. It's a true like adaptation of it. But yeah, I still liked it quite a bit.
Yeah.
Just I think because it's well made
Mhm.
too.
No, it is.
Probably helps.
Exactly. And yeah, no, we're not gonna be seeing Hellboy anytime soon. We thought about it. I have a bunch of copies of it. One day we might do it, but Mignola's never, we've never actually seen him again. He's never been at a Comic-Con that we've been at. So we never had an opportunity to like maybe wash that awful taste out of our mouths of the interaction we've had last time. But yeah, I've only heard reinforcing stories about him since then. So not interested in supporting him in any way. That Comics Guy can't stay for the live, but here's a fun question that you could amalgam to. If you could amalgam two characters, who would they be, and what's their new hero or villain name? There's no time for that unless you have a really good pitch. But I will suggest that you check out the Elseworlds Exchange episode where we literally did that for an hour and a half. So check that out.
I want to say,
Mm-hmm.
I was reading comments, and when you read the first part of that sentence, I thought you said, "Have fun staying alive," and immediately I went, "What?"
Yeah, I'm gonna try. And TY loving the Failsafe arc. You think Batman will have any friends afterwards? I don't think even Nightwing will be ready to forgive him. I mean, I don't think anybody. I think everybody's pretty much like sure. Like everybody's like, yeah, it's Batman. What are you gonna do?
Out of everybody, I feel like Nightwing's the most forgiving.
Exactly. And Ray Farr, Sal, do you think even Marvel knows what the horrible thing Peter did in ASM is? I'm a trade collector, so it frustrates me not having the whole story. I mean, it'll eventually be done, and then you'll be fine. But no, I don't expect them to know what happened. I mean, I expect that, like, I have every belief that the editor knows what happened to Peter because they don't want to be in a Nick Spencer situation again, where Nick Spencer like almost did something that they would not be able to fix. Red Hood 47. Have you guys been reading Poison Ivy? It's amazing. No.
Hey, that's not fair.
We just talked about it for like half an hour.
But it's mean to say it like that. I read the first issue and I'd like to go back.
Cayetano Garcia. Hey, as a truck driver, I enjoyed your morning podcast, and also I can't wait for Friday for Black Panther 2. Yes, Black Panther 2 is coming out on Thursday, and I don't think I'll be able to watch it until probably like Sunday. So we'll see what happens.
Why can't we go Friday?
I don't know, because we have family.
No, they're leaving.
All right, we'll see. If we can get tickets, yeah. And Kasanga Cherry Clark, who needs to post his own art, says, Hey guys, haven't been around too much. Hope you're doing well. Just wanted to show some love and ask if you checked Deadly Neighborhood Spider-Man. Yes, we have. It was fun. I dug the first issue. Also, what's up with the New York, New Jersey weather lately? Am I right? It's insane. It was 74 degrees today. It will be 40 degrees tonight.
Yeah.
It's going to be ridiculous. Can't wait to see your art on Instagram, my friend.
Yes.
Thank you very much for your support, by the way. It's great seeing you again. So yeah, let's jump into some more books. I read Hulk number 10 from Donny Cates and Ryan Ottley. This, of course, was the return of Donny Cates doing the Hulk arc before the Hulk versus Thor arc that like interrupted it. You don't need to read that Hulk. You don't need to read Banner of War at all. It's like it didn't happen, basically. This is just a continuation of it. I had to go back and read number 9 because I skipped that. Basically, it's Planet Hulk again. Hulk goes to a crazy planet that it's where all the irradiated like Hulks from the dimension that he fought, everybody in the first arc went to and are collected by. They see like a projection of him being Hulk and hulking out. And so they create a religion around him and they believe in him and everything. And then in this one, he like gets shown around and he has a great time. The cover's a lie, but it's like, it implies that's going to happen. But it's Hulk and a bunch of Hulks on a Hulk planet with Hulks. So it's going to Hulk it up. Hulk.
I hate that cover.
No, it's not very good. I don't like it.
No, it's not that it's not good. It's
a lie.
It's uncomfortable.
Yeah, I don't care for it myself.
I don't like its face.
No, I don't like him either.
I don't like its face, and I don't like what it's doing.
I also don't like any of the Hulks, like in their designs in this. Otley does a great job of making them all disgusting, and I don't want to look at any of them.
I do like the fact that he abbreviates it R. Otley, and so it's Rotley, and I assume he knows that.
I think he knows that.
And I'm like,
I think he's very familiar with that idea. But yeah, I mean, like it's more of the same. It's continuing that arc. It plays that idea. I like this. I like the Hulk stuff, like or the Banner stuff. Banner, of course, like he forces himself to have to do like 2 hours of therapy with like a projection of Leonard Sampson. person in his head, which I think is funny because it's like, you can't do therapy on yourself, man. Like, you need somebody who's going to challenge you. So he's like, but it's hard. And it's like, is it, or do you think it's hard because you're just asking yourself questions you don't want to answer that you already know the answers to? But yeah, it's interesting to see the continuation. And now they're not just doing it over again. I really expected this whole run to be just like Hulk in the different stages of like awesome, but like that, we did that already. Now we're in this, and we're on like Planet Hulk again. And it's distinct enough and different enough where it's interesting. And also we get to see like a kind of ticking clock element that they introduce. I don't want to spoil it for you if you're not already reading Hulk and you want to check it out. So check out Hulk number 10. Of course, I read this book that I don't think anybody's reading, but you should be. It's from Jason Aaron and Paul Azekta. I don't know how to say his name. I'm sorry. It's Punisher number 7. Punisher and Daredevil fight for a minute, and then Daredevil F's off. This is, of course, like one of the best runs on Punisher in a long time. You should be reading the series. Punisher's in charge of the hand. Now Daredevil is in charge of, like, I don't know, the fist, and they're meeting.
And Shredder's in charge of the foot.
I know. We're eventually going to get the whole damn body in ninja form. They botched the Daredevil Punisher thing. I'm going to say it, both Zdarsky and Aaron, who are both incredible writers and doing great stuff with both their respective books, botched this big time.
Oh.
You should have been leading up to it. The confrontation of Daredevil and Punisher should have been bigger and better and more interesting, and it wasn't. It's disappointing.
Oh.
Everything about this book is great. They're retconning a lot of like Frank and Maria's relationship, and so that's a lot of that's a big element of this issue in particular. But again, no complaints there. We're not, we're all on board for what's happening in here. Maria also is done complaining about the kids. She's like, you're not bringing the kids back, and that's probably for the best because you're a monster. And I'm like, yep. But yeah, we're gonna see, like, we're seeing Frank get like more and more corrupted by the Beast. We're seeing that Daredevil's like, hey, don't you get corrupted by the Beast, because otherwise you'll get a crappy event like Shadowland. But yeah, it's fun to see.
Like, oh man, can I have an event?
Right? And it's like, no. I mean, he is going to have an event,
you, Punisher.
but it's probably going to be a Daredevil, through the lens of Daredevil.
Right.
But yeah, it's good. I like it a lot. I love this series, and it's really cool. Again, though, I'm disappointed that the Daredevil Punisher thing wasn't like bigger or more impactful. It's just more like Daredevil's here. He's like, hey, you're a jerk. I'm like, come on. You're the leader of your respective cults. You hate each other. You have fundamental oppositions to each other. Your last every confrontation between Daredevil and Punisher should be like this freaking dope thing. It's just kind of like, oh, whatever. But yeah, I still like the series. I'm just saying, they're not without their faults. And even then, like, they're faults that are decisions that are made by these creators. Like, I'm not like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
As far as they're concerned, it's working flawlessly.
Okay.
But Azekta's art is great.
Is it, or is it Jesus
Saiz?
Just because he's credited beforehand.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's my question.
Well, the art's great.
Okay.
But you should be reading
it. If it looks good, that's great.
Yep, it does. Yep. We have a couple other super chats I want to get to before we could.
Sure.
But you read some stuff. So what else did you read?
I read one more thing.
Well, do you want to save it, or do you want to?
It's up to you.
Well, Neil and Bradley says Bill Cipher is an elder god in the Marvel universe. Changed my mind.
I can't.
I've never seen him.
I can't do
there.
that.
So I think that's.
Bye, Gold. Bye.
RK. Hey guys, missed the last few live streams, but glad to watch you guys now. The new champion of Shazam was great for the dozen of us who read it. That's true. I didn't read it either. And welcome back. Hopefully we won't lose you again, you son of a bitch. Welcome to the show. Heavy Healing says, have either of you read Gotham 1919 to 1939? If so, any thoughts? No.
And a no as well. I didn't realize you were waiting for me to answer that. No.
Yeah. Sorry. Nikki T, just curious, do you ever see yourself covering any of Busick's Astro City series? It's wonderful. Have a great day. I think we've established I never read it, but I will. We have it, and one day probably we'll see. But but there's no urgency to do it. TY, predictions for Dawn of the DCU? No, I got nothing. That's after Dark Crisis.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Yeah. I don't know.
I don't know.
Wait, when's the next Dark Crisis coming out?
Tomorrow.
Oh.
And it's the penultimate issue.
Yay!
Yep. I read Dark Knights of Steel number 8 from Tom Taylor and Yazim Putri.
Oh, did you catch up?
Yep.
Wow, good for you.
It's great. It's a great. It's great. Asterisk. This cover's fantastic, and the art inside looks just as good.
Yes.
It's Game of Thrones shit. It's like, oh, damn it.
Well, that for some people that's good,
Yeah,
right?
in every issue, there's like, it's like when you figure out the cadence of a Bendis series, or if you figure out that like J.K. Rowling, like basically just stops, like she takes the last page of her chapter and then she drops the last page and then makes that the end of the chapter. So you're like, whoa! So you have to read the next page,
Right.
Like
right,
once you
right.
figure out the method through which this is done, like you're like, oh, okay. And the method through which this is done is every issue at the end of it, there's a betrayal and a surprise and someone dies. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. That's Tom Taylor.
Okay.
In the other universes, like
Right.
not in the main universe. But yeah, no, it's like, oh no,
I really do like this cover.
it's
Sorry, the
great.
more I look at it, the more I'm just like, I like the
color.
the muted color
The colors are
behind
great.
the DC logo. I
Yeah.
like that the logo itself of the book is
Mhm.
like the title is like faded a little bit. Just
I
really
know.
solid.
I know. Yeah, no, it's fantastic. It looks like the cover artist is Dan Mora. God damn it.
Is it?
Yeah, that does not surprise me.
Oh.
And Arif Prianto does the colors and does a great job.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I like it. I like it. It's cool. You're seeing this, like, I think that Supergirl and Wonder Woman are in a relationship, and that's kind of neat.
That's fun.
And
Why
of course
not?
she's new, or at least like it's a different kind of origin.
Sure.
But we're seeing like the war and like how it's building, and there's different houses and factions, and oh no, and it's fine. I don't know. I like my fantasy in the form of Tolkien. I don't care about Game of Thrones shit.
All right.
But it's cool. It's engaging when it's happening, but I have no reverence or like, I have no reverence for it afterwards.
All right.
I'm not like, oh my god. Like if you like sword and sorcery, if you like Game of Thrones,
You're gonna probably
you're really gonna love this.
especially if you're like enjoy the DC universe.
Exactly.
Okay.
If you're a Game of Thrones fan and you like DC, you're gonna love this. And even if you're not, you're still gonna enjoy it while you read it.
Okay.
It's just kind of like, it's so unmemorable for me. I'm like, oh, okay,
That's great.
that's great. I got no. I mean, it's weird. It's like when you review comics like for a living, or when you talk about them on a weekly basis. It's like some of these books are like real standouts, and some of these books are just like whoa, and some of these books are just like, it's a book that happened.
I mean,
And
it's nothing bad. There's nothing against
yeah,
it.
and there's nothing against it. Like it sounds like a negative review because I'm not like shouting from the rooftops about how freaking amazing it is, and I feel bad because like on any other year, this book would be the biggest book of the year, and it's like, it just so happens that I think we're in one of like the most talented, prolific eras of comics, or at least we have been for the last 10 years. Like,
Wow, that was a statement.
I just think there's
I'm not
an
saying there's anything wrong
outrageously
with it.
like
I just-
huge amount of like great stuff. Everything that comes out is like
That's funny because I think you could say that it's a
mixed bag.
it's a mixed bag.
I mean, it certainly is a mixed bag.
I think
Every era is a mixed bag.
but I would say I think there is much more. There's less gray.
Yeah, it's either great or not.
Yeah.
But I mean, like with the 90s, right? Like everyone's like, oh my god, the 90s were the best. It's like, you name the 5 most important books. They were 1 million books. You know what I mean? Like for every Vertigo book. And like, listen, there were Vertigo. Like it came up during the 80s and 90s. Like, 80s really, but like 80s and 90s. 90s cemented it. But like, who remember Vamps? You know what I mean? Like there were Vertigo books you didn't read that didn't make it.
Mhm.
That were still pushing the envelope and trying things.
Right.
And nobody remembers them. Oh, Sandman. Shit.
Well, and
know?
I do wonder though if the books that we're saying that are so great will be as remembered, because it seems like everyone's just on to the next thing.
They are
Like,
now.
on to the next
They
thing.
were. The reality is, like, comics had reverence for things. We are now entering. We have entered. We are now in it. We are neck deep in it. The era of, what do you got for me lately? What's next? Next. And I think it's going to be funny because we talked about this before. The idea, I think we've talked about it on the show. The idea that I think that when the streaming wars are over, there'll be like 2 streamers. Like there'll be like 2, and they won't need to make as much content as we have gotten. And as a result, you're going to have to either just go back and watch old shit.
Yeah.
When I say old, I mean like stuff that's being made this year.
Yeah.
Because in 5 years, there'll only be 2.
Yeah.
But like neither of those 2 main creators are going to need to be as prolific as they are now. So it's we got to churn out with like every day, every 6 months, we got a new Marvel, another DC, another blah, like another Star Wars. Like it'll be like, maybe in 3 or 4 years, make another Star Wars movie. It's like, whoa, another 3 or 4 years. Remember when you were making like 4 shows a year? And it's like, yeah, I don't have to do that anymore. I got your money.
I would say though, it's also what's helping to lead to burnout.
Yeah, big time. No, it's burning the shit out of the audience. I was talking to Zub off mic, and I asked him. I was just like, "What is going on?" And thankfully, he didn't give me anything like inside baseball.
Mm-hmm.
It was just something I didn't think was relevant to the show. But I was like, "What is going on?" Because I feel like we are in a drought of interest from the audience, and I don't. It's us. It's everybody. Like if Black Adam came out in 2008, it would have made $1 billion.
Yeah.
If Black Adam came out in 2017, would have made $1 billion. And it didn't. Now look, it was well received and all that stuff. I'm not disparaging or even weighing in on Black Adam's merit. I'm just saying that like these used to be a big deal, and now they are not. And it's having an effect on every piece of content. And Zub's point was just like, we are experiencing entertainment burnout. We are experiencing a burnout of everything. It's like people don't even like, they don't have the stomach, the time, the patience, the mental capacity to be entertained anymore because everything is jockeying for their eyeballs.
Oh yeah.
And the fact is there's also the commoditization of your eyeballs, of your time. Like there is too much entertainment and there are too many ads.
Oh
like,
yeah.
There is too much advertisement for everything. Everything. I have to advertise. Like when I make these
a mid-roll ad.
Right, I know exactly. But like seriously, there are too many ads for everything, and everything that exists has to have an ad, which is also why I'm gonna point my finger at the comic book industry, especially the big 2, and wave it at them for being like, hey, how come you're so bad at it? Like DC and Marvel, why is it I see an ad for suppositories and multi-billion-dollar movies, but I don't see an ad for Battle of the Super Sons or a comic book?
Because they don't want to.
Why are you so shitty at it?
Because each page is money.
Yeah, it is. No, but I'm not saying I need to see ads in their own books.
Oh yeah.
No, I saw ads for Battle of Super Sons in the comic book. That's easy. I could print a picture. But it's hard to get my marketing department to like figure out how to tell anybody that something's coming out. I mean, apparently we're also in a drought of good marketers. Apparently,
UGC, man.
What the fuck does that mean?
User-generated content.
Oh, right. Let them do it. Let the fans sell our shit.
That's what it is.
That's what we're doing, right?
That's what it is, and it's like it's super like dudes. If you want to do that for somebody, absolutely go for it.
Right.
But like, don't let someone take advantage of you because it's almost the same situation as telling an artist, draw this for me and I'll give you exposure. Ah,
yes. I can eat, drink, and bathe in exposure. Thank you. I mean, that's basically what and it kind of dovetails into, and we're not going to talk about it much farther than me mentioning it, but the Twitter situation. Now it's like, hey, you can pay Twitter to be legit on it. It's like, how about you pay me because I make content for you, motherfucker? Like every time that someone, if people go to the website to see what the users are generating, then they are generating the content. As you said, they're the UGC. And it's like, what? And if it's free, then you're the commodity. Then they're buying, then they're paying for your user-generated content with your data. And also your $8 a month so you can impersonate Elon Musk. LOL! Love it. Anyway, T.Y. says predictions for the Dawn of DCU. We already asked that. I'm sorry. Ray Farr says, would you love to see Daredevil versus Punisher means and ends on the couch? Also, just a plug, the Weird Al movie on Roku is amazing. We live in a world where there's a Weird Al movie starring Daniel Radcliffe, but it's on the Roku channel. Now, we're going to watch it at some point really soon because we both love Weird Al.
We do.
And I downloaded the Roku channel just so we could watch it, and it's free. Like, it is free as fuck. Like, I don't have to give them an email address. I just have the Roku channel. I'm going to watch it on there.
How are they doing that?
Because they are too much loss of money. I'm certain of it, right? Like, because the Roku channel produce the Weird Al movie. You know what I mean? That's what kind of world we're in. It's like, yay, they made a Weird Al movie, and it's it's a joke, like hooray. But also, like, what the hell is the Roku channel doing making movies?
I don't
It's
know.
insane to
It
me.
is.
But I'm glad it exists. But I'm also like, that's the thing. I don't want people to like think that I'm upset that we have like 3 seasons of a Daredevil show, that we have a She-Hulk show in which she broke through the app and went to Marvel Studio. Like,
Right.
on paper, 3 Spider-Mans in one movie.
6 seasons in a movie.
6 seasons of a movie. We're getting a Community movie. We got a 6th season of Community on an app that should never have existed. They killed the app.
You shut your dirty whore mouth about that movie, because I want that movie so bad.
No, I can't wait.
I know.
I can't wait. But they made the 6th season at the expense of Yahoo's streaming service because they bankrupted them for making that show. Because they were basically making a movie an episode. I'm not disparaging getting things I want, but I'm wondering if it's at the expense of everything ever.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's craziness to me.
We'll never know.
Yeah, we won't know until the heat death of the universe.
Or until we can peek into another dimension. Or
right,
another,
and be like, hey.
multiverse. And go like, oh no. Wait. Oh, you didn't go that way?
Yeah.
Oh.
Right.
What happened?
Oh, you guys didn't deregulate everything in the 80s? Wow. Well, we have free healthcare. Vincent Brown, did you guys know about this Gotham Year One comic by Tom King and Phil Hester? Noir mystery type story with some cool twists with just 2 issues.
Did you know about that, Sal?
Did I know about it? Fuck yeah, I did. It's Tom King. Also, I read the damn thing. It's from Tom King and Phil Hester.
I think you also recommended it.
Yeah, I recommend it every week. It is Gotham City Year One. I read issue 1 back when it came out, and then I read issue 2 last week. It's phenomenal. It's Phil Hester's like it. Phil Hester does a lot of like really cool stuff. He did Green Arrow.
Mm-hmm.
He did a lot of other different stuff. I remember being like, on Phil Hester.
Mm-hmm. What?
Yeah, not I felt a little cartoony.
Okay.
Like this is Phil Hester, like I think unleashed, not really unleashed, more like.
Is he gonna get a ridiculous figure where like his fur is blowing in ways where you're like, what is happening?
Tiffany's referring to the Star Wars Unleashed action figure line, and particularly the Chewbacca figure. Because Star Wars Unleashed was this idea of like getting dynamic McFarlane-esque statues that are made of plastic that are like supposedly action figures, but they have no action feature. They were awesome, and I had the Vader Unleashed figure because it was so dope looking. It was just basically a recreation of the sequence in which Vader tells Luke that he's his father. Spoilers. But Chewbacca's figure is ridiculous looking.
Yeah.
And he has like, because like it's like he's in a wind tunnel,
yeah,
and they're trying to capture fur in motion in plastic 20 years ago. So it's like, is that gonna work? And the answer is no. He looks like the Beast after they do the makeover for him. And he has all those little bows in his fur. He looks so stupid. But Gotham City Year One is Phil Hester getting to draw like adult stuff. It's just like it's like
adult stuff.
Yeah, well, no, it's not. There's not like porn in
How
here.
many X's are involved with this?
0.
book?
There's 0 X's. There's actually not. There isn't even any harsh language in this book.
Okay.
But it's like, but he's not drawing a book with a boxing glove arrow in it. He's drawing a book about like Slam Bradley, the hard-boiled detective, and the like birth of Gotham as we know it today. This is a great series, and I know, like how I feel about this guy and his writing. But like Phil Hester does a great job, and I love seeing King with different people. Like on one hand, I'm like, man, I want to see like King like kind of like with his regulars, but like I love the fact that he doesn't have any regulars. That like each new book is a different like great. You know what it is?
That's not true. He has one regular.
Who?
It's Mitch Gerrits.
Oh yeah, Mitch Gerrits. Yeah.
He would do anything with it.
Yeah, and he should
all the time
because Mitch is great.
I think they're actually friends.
They are just friends.
Yeah. So that's why I call him his regular.
No, that's true. Yeah, Mitch is in like at least 3 books.
He's in 2. Strange Adventures and Mr. Miracle.
I think he also worked on. No, he didn't. Did he work on Sheriff Babylon? I don't recall.
Oh, maybe.
But
maybe.
Right. But yeah, man. No, Mitch is great. But yeah, like I love. It's almost like a Quentin Tarantino thing, where it's like Tarantino always picks like a writer or an actor that like not everybody recognizes is so great, but it is so great, and then goes like, here, like let me give you some of my fucking snap, crackle, and poppy dialogue.
Okay, just because that short came out today.
Yeah. Oh, I should check it out. Dialogue, snap, crackles, and pops. God damn it. Check out our short on ComicPop Prime. It's so ridiculous. Even just said that unprovoked. I don't know where the hell that came from.
With deadpan. Like he was not doing it.
He was not doing a bit. He was not doing it for the cameras. By the way, when is Aaron Sorkin going to write a fucking Marvel movie? I want that.
Why didn't he do She-Hulk?
I don't know. It's outrageous, right? If you can afford anybody, because like there's a rumor
Okay.
that Steven Spielberg might make a Superman movie.
I would pay double for that.
Right? Are you fucking kidding me? You mean the greatest American Jewish myth made by the greatest American Jewish director? Making like the biggest Spielberg has a predilection for like myths, heroes, legends,
And aliens.
and America and aliens. That's true. And it's like, that's all of those things. Are you kidding me? It's just a rumor. It's just because he and Nolan and Gunn all had like dinner.
That's an upsetting rumor, because if it doesn't come true, who's gonna be like, oh, for me?
I don't know. As long as Shia LaBeouf doesn't play Superman. No, we know it's going to be Henry Cavill.
Yeah.
Anyway, Gotham City Year One, number 2. You should read the series. It's great. The idea is it's just it's the Lindbergh baby, but in Gotham. That's what
okay.
It's great. I love how King gives me the opportunity to give it just like an elevator pitch. It's this meets this, man.
He's like, shut up.
But I love it because like, what was it? Like, there's a statistic in here where it's like, how many murders there were in Gotham in the last 6 months. This is what the commissioner says to Slam Bradley as they're interrogating.
Is it a lot?
6.
Oh.
And he names them all and how they were solved.
Oh. Was
He
it all
goes,
Batman?
No.
Oh.
No, this is set in the 60s.
Oh, okay.
And he's like, do you know how many murders there were in Metropolis? Like 38. Or like 68, 30 unsolved. Like, Gotham City is on the rise.
Oh, no.
Yeah. No.
Oh, no.
Gotham City is like going places.
No.
It's the safest place in the country.
Don't do that.
It's great.
So
also, like, the Waynes, are involved.
Yeah.
It's about the lineage of the Waynes, but like one of Wayne's grandparent in this issue, he goes to the gravestone of one of his parents or was one of his grandparents. There's an owl.
What?
Like built into their headstone. When their baby is stolen, they leave an owl. When they sign like there's a ransom note at the end of it. There's they drew it looks like a bat, but like if you look at it funny, I think it's an owl. They misinterpret it, so they're thinking the Batman, this kidnapper took their baby, and they think it looks like a bat, but I think it's like one of the. I think it's like the El Rata Alada thing, where it's like that ain't a bat, that's an owl. The Court of Owls took your kid.
Oh,
and I'm like, Tom King fucking around with the Court of Owls.
All right.
Sold. It's a great book. Read it.
Yeah. Why not?
So yes, we did, Vincent, know about that. What's his face? Dark Knights of Steel is the best thing coming out of DC right now, in my opinion. That is your opinion. Brooke the Book says, hey guys, firstly, just want to say loving the wake up with Comic Pop episodes so far. It's a great way to start the day. Also, Tiffany, any plans to play God of War Ragnarok? Have a great evening. You too, man.
Oh, yeah. No, absolutely.
Tiffany loves God.
I got to get through Gotham Knights on stream. We only stream a couple days,
you can just stop.
So it's rough. I want to at least meet the freaking Court of Owls. But no, I that game's coming out like in 2 days, and I just want to play it so badly.
Yeah.
I love that game.
Right?
Damn.
Nikki T, also curious, is there any comic you guys enjoy that is critically or commercially regarded as a bad or unmemorable?
Monsters
or
Unleashed.
Yeah, Monsters Unleashed. You like Monsters Unleashed? I'm sure there is a bunch. People in the comments, if you know better than me, just let them know. I don't know off the top of my head if there's any like there's stuff that I'm like, ooh, Yeah, I mean, like I don't know if I unironically, but I do like defend like Gen 13 sometimes. Like, oh, you could fix that. You could do something with Gen 13.
No.
Normally, I'd tell you what I'd do with it, but I'm not going to do that because you should check out this past episodes of Elseworlds Exchange. Don't give away your ideas.
Oh, that's true. They're your ideas.
Yeah. And you never know when you're going to be able to use them. Lame works. I'm usually a lurker, but thank you for not being silent about the attention economy. Our ability to concentration, our concentration and our free time are under attack.
Yeah.
Yeah, literally.
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think it was ability to concentrate.
I see.
And
my ability to read.
Agree with that.
Right?
It's so bad.
Yeah. No, it's horrible. Ray Farr, Sal's mini meltdown about content overload needs to be a YouTube short right now. I knew there was something I liked about you two. Favorite Weird Al song?
That's an impossible question.
What an impossible question. There's so many that I enjoy.
That's not fair.
I really like a lot of his original compositions.
I do too, and I like plenty of new stuff too.
Yeah.
Like
Right, like the Jackson Park Express is so incredible.
right,
I love
I really liked Word Crimes,
Word
and
Crimes
I
is great.
liked was it At the Drive-Thru, whatever that
Yeah,
song is.
yeah, yeah. I liked The Good Old Days and Since You've Been Gone, and Melanie, and I'm just thinking of other songs that I really liked that are like kind of
And any polka remix, like
oh,
some
all
of
of
his
them.
polka remixes, I actually almost like more than
Prefer
anything
them.
else.
Yeah.
Like I'm just so interested in the way that he puts the compositions together and how easily pop songs can just be set to polka music.
Yeah.
Just kind of, I'm like, wow,
Right?
that's so neat. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
We could go on and on.
Right. Oh, I don't remember the other one. There's another one that I really like. Well, I mean, I like them all. So
Was it Charles Nelson Riley?
CNR's great. The infamous Mike Manhattan. Wasn't Spielberg going to make a Blackhawks film? Yeah, apparently. That's all I. Here's the thing. I'm sure it would have been great, but I don't want that if I can get a Spielberg Superman movie. What'd you read, Tiffany?
I read X-Men Red #8 this week, written by Al Ewing with art by Madabek Musibekov. I hope I said that right.
It's possible.
So this is like, there's nothing wrong with this book. There's nothing wrong with this book. But this book reminded me, oh yeah, remember we started with like a whole bunch of other characters?
Yeah.
And then I was reminded how much I really just wanted the story of Magneto,
Yes.
and how I can't have that anymore.
No, that's over.
That's over. I was like,
And every story with Magneto.
for now.
Yeah,
For
exactly.
now. I
Good
feel
for
like
you.
I
yeah.
feel like I didn't get enough of that dynamic of him being on the planet and just kind of, Thanosing out in a way. He was just like farming and doing whatever. I don't think he was actually gonna farm, but
No.
in my head,
at least Brand's in this, right?
Brand is in this, and Brand is going down for sure. Cable's working towards that. We're getting the band back together. And honestly, what I will say is Ewing for sure is paying attention to what other people are doing in their books.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't think that that's like all because of Kieran Gillen. I think he's just a team player.
Yeah.
But I think, he was like, oh yeah, like, they all got together to chat about the Gillen event. And so he was like, oh yeah, like, all right. I think in Gillen's book, I think it was Gillen's book, Weaponless Zen came up, with Nightcrawler.
Yes,
I was in
Nightcrawler.
Nightwing. I was like, no. But she's in this, and remember when we were doing Sword, talking about Sword, and there was the replacement character Cora who showed up. She was like,
yeah,
they're sisters.
What?
I was like, oh, that's fun.
Okay.
But Cable's putting a little like cadre together of characters. So we've got Cable and Cora and WizKid, Thunderbird. I was like, oh yeah, Thunderbird.
They brought him back.
Was in the first couple of issues of this, and then we just kind of
moved on
for now.
Yeah.
Manifold and Weaponless Zen, and basically they're gonna go and they're gonna do something. This has a lot more politics going on, space politics, talking about Kree Skrulls. We bring Xandra into this, touching base with the whole was it Marauders? Yeah, Marauders out in space.
Has Professor X even met Xandra?
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
He resurrected her.
That's right.
Because she psychically screams. So like in the way that only
did that actually ever pay off or anything?
Yeah, he like brought her back.
Right.
They had like a moment and then she was back.
They never have a catch.
They did not have a catch. No, he did not take her to the American Girl doll restaurant in New York.
Right?
And have tea with her.
Yeah. What the hell? What a bad dad.
He just resurrected her.
I mean, in a world where everyone can be resurrected,
he cut the line. Well,
no
don't
one
forget, she psychically screamed out in a
I
way that
know.
only an Xavier could, and he was able to get her psychic DNA from that or whatever, and he brought her back.
That's nice.
He cut the line.
So it's basically just he's more the Legion and Xander are alive for insurance reasons. It's like I just want my genetic material out there.
I mean, I think that Xander, he's like, no, that's cool. Like your mom was.
Remember, they're not friends. They don't know each other. He doesn't know anything about her. I mean, I guess he knows everything about her because he downloaded her friggin' mind into his head.
About her.
Why do we
And
need to talk?
He's like, exactly.
Why do we need a relationship when I could just download everything that you are into my mind?
Yeah, but I don't know. I assume that's a different relationship. But she's also like ruling an entire empire.
Yeah, but like Chuck could help her out. That'd be where he should go there later. He should help rule.
That is not what anyone needs. The Shi'ar Empire does not need Chuck right now.
When it's all over, like when Krakoa falls and Krakoa leaves and dies.
He won't be able. No, because then he'll be fighting a fight for another people instead of his people. He can't let it go.
He's done that before.
I'm just saying.
It's actually a thing. Oh my god, I remember that now. Yeah.
Well, then he'll come back.
He helped. Like he was like, I did such a good job. I'm gonna take these alien mutants and I'm gonna protect them. That was during like maximum security.
I'm gonna fix it.
He's bad.
So essentially, the Kree and the Kree Skrull are there. Their representative is there. It's not
Gladiator.
No.
Lalandra.
No, that's the Shi'ar. Kree Skrull is not the Super Skrull,
right?
But they sent Pybok the Power Skrull instead.
Okay.
Super Skrull was busy apparently.
Yeah.
But no, Gladiator is there for the Shi'ar Empire, and Xandra and Deathbird are also going to show up. And basically, she's there to apologize, to make like reparations.
Okay.
Because part of the 10 shames that the Kin Crimson buried. By the way, if you weren't reading Marauders, you're like, cool.
What the fuck?
But you know what?
Who cares?
It's crazy space moon language. So you're like, yeah, of course.
Yeah, sure, whatever.
If you want to know more about it, you can go grab Marauders and find out what happened with the Kin Crimson and all the like how they got the secrets revealed. I don't think we have all the secrets necessarily. I honestly don't remember.
Yeah.
But yeah, she shows up with Deathbird, and Deathbird be looking fabulous as usual. You know?
I mean, it's just her usual effort.
Deathbird's just like the coolest aunt ever.
Yeah. I would imagine it'd be cool to have her as an aunt,
right? You know, like she shows up, she looks fabulous. She's like aggressively gives you advice on things, and then she bails.
That's cool.
And you're like, that's fun.
That's all I want.
That just makes the holidays even better.
Yeah.
Like, could you imagine? Thanksgiving.
Oh yeah. It's not too dissimilar now,
right? What? Anyway, so she feels one of the secrets was that during the Kree Skrull like peace, there was like a planet that was like said to have like that the Skrulls were doing like genetic manipulation and they were like creating whatever. So the Kree sent a small cadre there. And including Captain Glory.
Okay.
And they wiped everybody out. And it turns
out
the Kree wiped all the Skrulls on that planet out. And they were like, it turns out, oops, actually that information was like not accurate, and they weren't doing that at all. And actually what that planet was for people for Skrulls who had lost the ability to shapeshift, so they were there recovering.
Oh, cool.
And so they're like, screw you, and they kind of like blew up in their faces, and obviously the war kind of continued from that.
Yeah.
And and then it turns out like, well, like they did a little more digging. The Kree, or I guess the Skrulls did.
Yeah.
And the Shi'ar leaked false information to them to keep the war going for their own benefits and profits.
Yeah.
And so that's one of the sins that have come out. So she's like, we should make reparations. For
this.
We
should pay you some money for something for it.
Brand is very interested in that because she's playing like 7-dimension chess here.
Yeah.
So she wanted Xandra there because she's gonna unleash Vulcan on him.
Oh, okay.
Now, Vulcan recently was resurrected.
Yeah.
And in that resurrection, apparently there was like there was a programming on him that kept him docile, and so that's been broken. And so now like Emperor Vulcan personality can come out. So he's a problem for them.
Yes.
But Cable's doing his thing, so they insert themselves into the situation because he's tracking down the fact that she's still part of his techno-organic virus.
Oh, yeah.
She took a little bit of it, and he's like, no, we can't
have that running around in this time.
So he gives a little bit to Manifold. He's controlling it so that it doesn't go into Manifold.
Yeah.
So the Manifold can now get them to wherever. He's like, find wherever the other piece of this is, because there's only one other piece of this. So they go there, and it turns out they're dealing with not the progenitor, but the progenitors.
Okay.
I think they were created in like 2017.
Oh, all right.
Or something like that. But so they're going to be dealing with that. So Brand's like, haha, I'm winning. And
what are you winning right now, Abigail? Exactly.
Her plan. Okay, so she outlines her plan in a big infographic. If you didn't read it, I totally get it because it was a lot. It was a lot. But right at the bottom is like what her hopes for her plans are, and the plan is essentially that like they are they're going to ignite. I think she wants to ignite a war between the Shi'ar and the X-Men, because Vulcan will commit a crime. The X-Men will feel bad for it because they're the ones that brought him back, right? Inevitably, the Iraqi will fall in line, or she'll have them like pushed back into Amenth, where she can then take Araco or Mars and turn it into an actual like planet, like for
everybody or for people, or
no, it's in order to be a power in the
in the Milky Way or whatever.
Yeah, or in the
universe.
And to take Orcus and fold it in under her belt, and like she's just gonna
right. I can imagine that like she's like, I'm not really working for Orcus. I'm just
oh no, that's exactly what she's doing. She's manipulating literally everybody and anybody.
Right.
But Cable's like, no.
Well, she and Beast should hook up again.
No, that's a horrible idea.
Yeah,
they'll just kill one another,
and
everyone will be like fine with it. I kind of liked. I'm interested to see where Ewing is going with this character, because the way in which they're portraying her right now is a little like you think it's villainous, but then if you read the subtext or even just the obvious text that's in front of you, it's that she is doing this because she honestly is thinking on a like she's like no whatever, like Araco is temporary, Krakoa is temporary, none of this matters in the grand scale of the universe, and that's what we need to think. So she is villainous in terms of the fact that she believes she's right.
Yeah,
she's like, no, I know better, I know what like our part of the universe needs, and you guys need, if you just fell in line that'd be great, but I know you won't, so I just need to manipulate the situation until it fits what I need.
Right.
And so that's what she's been doing, but that is straight up, that's just villainous.
That is
villainous. So I'm like, I missed when she was just sassy.
Yeah, I liked her, but she wasn't like a big power player. But this is kind of like where she would go, like,
right?
This is like
it naturally makes sense, and so I'm like, yep, all right. We entered into space a little more. So I mean, like we've said before, mutants, X-Men, they've always had a connection to space. So this made sense. So I'm kind of glad they're exploring this. It's not like she hasn't played roles similar to this before.
No,
it's just that we're definitely walking down this path. And, I'm interested to see where Ewing's going to go with it. Like I said, I was really enjoying the small story of
Magneto just kind of
on Araco and, Storm being a part of all of that.
And the fisherman.
But listen, the Fisher King. Yeah.
Yeah. This is where we are.
Yeah.
Z Swimmer says, watching about 20 minutes behind. A good rant, Sal. Thank you very much.
Right. It was a good one.
Oh, thanks. Jmail 1984. Is it possible for y'all to do any more of Al Ewing's Hulk run? It is possible. We were not going to, but it's possible that we could do it. Supreme Omega on Tim. I know you're a Tim Drake fan. Do you find it a bit sad? Do find it a bit sad that he has been mishandled for about 20 years? Since about 2004 with Identity Crisis. Yeah, that dems the brakes, but you'll like how he's being handled in Zdarsky's run.
You know what it feels like? And I'm not a huge Tim Drake reader, but just from hearing other people talk about Tim, it just sounds like, Dick is the first.
Yeah.
And so he holds that slot. He's the first.
Yep.
Jason is the mistake.
Yes.
And Damian is the true.
Right. And true heir to Batman.
Like genetic.
Yeah. And Damian was the real mistake because Grant Morrison couldn't help himself.
I know. But so it's really easy to make
just forget about
and
Tim.
then there's Tim.
And Tim is the good boy. Tim is the middle child.
And that's the thing. That's what these types of stories teach you, is that you don't get noticed for being good, and that sucks.
Yeah. Joshua Stevens, would you guys consider doing acts, including important or cool tie-ins on back issues? Yeah, Tiffany will do that one day.
Yeah, that's happened. No, trust me, that's happened. When we were talking about acts and I was reading it, all I could think of was how I was going to do this. And so I went out of my way because I bought almost all of it in digital. So while we were at Baltimore Comic-Con, I did grab a few of the actual floppies because I don't know how this is going to be collected.
Yeah.
But just that I had a few of the tie-ins, because I would like to be prepared not to be like, okay, here's the info dump of everything, but to be able to support
what I
say. And if they ask some questions like, oh, could we know more about this? I'll be ready to go with that. And if there's something I feel like is really
integral
to it, which we'll see, I will definitely bring it up. But yeah, I would love to do that.
Yeah.
There was more to that question.
He asked about any Captain America books that made him really interesting. I mean, honestly, the one book that I read of his that because I skipped a lot of the Brubaker stuff, but I did really enjoy Captain America Reborn. It's kind of the end of his run, but I really liked it. It's kind of like a cap throughout time. I think read that. It's kind of cool. It's out of it's out of place in the order you should be reading Captain America, but I think that's a really fun story. I like Cap, but I don't read a lot of them. I wouldn't recommend white. I'll tell you that, just because it's a little bit insane. But yeah, also I read Batman number 129 from Chip Zdarsky and of course Jorge Jimenez.
Mm-hmm.
This is continuing the Failsafe arc, and it also has a little backup called Zerana Part 1, which is also really cool, and it's basically Batman of Zerana versus the Joker. The idea being that like Joker finds out about Zerana, and he's like, if you're crazy, that means that I have to be serious. Like if you're because we're both crazy, but you're like more grounded crazy. So if you're gonna go off the rails, then I gotta go more grounded. It's kind of fun, like seeing that flip.
Right.
Because Zerana, Batman versus Joker, is something I always wanted to see. That's dope. That's really cool. You should read that. Different artist, but it's really still cool. I think that's Leonardo Romero. But this main story is just like Batman from the lowest depths of the highest region of space, fighting and running away from his failsafe. Failsafe basically is like Failsafe explains to like the Bat family because he like plugs Oracle into the computers and makes her like the surveillance drone that he needs her to be. Dick Grayson's just like under glass. All the Bat family's defeated. Even superheroes that like know Batman or come to Gotham to try and stop Failsafe have been defeated or beaten the hell out of. And Failsafe is just letting Gotham fall apart and tear itself apart. He's like, no, he doesn't care about you. Like, he cares about you in as much as you are foot soldiers in the war. He will come back to save this place.
Oh, that's an interesting take on that.
Meanwhile, Batman was hiding and being recuperated in Atlantis. Aquaman's like, so what's going on? Batman explains to him, he's like, you get the hell out of here because this robot's going to show up here. It does. And the Atlanteans sell him out immediately. Aquaman and the Atlanteans have a fun little interaction because the Atlanteans are like, what are you doing with the surface guy? If the robot comes in here and kills everybody, that's your, like, who cares? Fuck this guy. Mm-hmm. And Aquaman's like, how many times have you saved the world? And the Atlantean guard's like, oh, that's what a ridiculous question to ask. And Aquaman's like, that's fair. And if you ask Batman that question, you have to think about it for a minute to think about which time. And we're 70% of the world that he saved, so shut up. And I'm like, wow, what a cool moment. So yeah, Failsafe.
Guy's like,
wow. Wait in the regular car. But yeah, no, he gets but he does betray Aquaman and Batman, but Batman leaves and he goes and uses the one teleporter to the watchtower, lures Failsafe to the watchtower, and they have a fun fight where Batman's like, I'm gonna lose this fucking robot. I gotta get the hell out of here. So he gets into the teleporter and he pulls a Superman 2. In Superman 2, Superman loses his powers, and then Zod and his people show up and take over. And so Superman gets his powers back. And then when they get to the Fortress of Solitude, this is a great moment where Superman tries to work with Lex Luthor. He's like, listen, and it's such a cute moment because it's Christopher Reeve. He's amazing. He turns to Luthor, Gene Hackman. He goes, the machine over there, if we can get them into it, it'll take their powers away. And then we can just arrest them. And so they start to head towards it. And Luthor's like, don't touch that. Like, that'll take your powers away. And it's great because, like, you know, it's just a cute moment. But they make him get into it, and Superman, of course, like reverse engineered it so he's protected, but it blasts out and takes the Kryptonians' powers away. Because he knew that Luthor's a piece of shit.
Yeah.
And Batman does the exact same thing with a teleporter. So he gets into the teleporter, and Failsafe's like, fuck you. And then Batman's like, bye. And he hits the teleporter, and it teleports him and like all of the watchtower in range to the Hall of Justice. This is a really cool moment. So then Batman's like teleported just into space, basically, because, like, you know, everything, the whole thing fucks up. So, like, he's just stuck there. And so he calls a javelin, and they're all broken because he, like, ripped a hole in the watchtower. Mm. And so Failsafe is stuck in the Hall of Justice, and Batman is floating in space, seemingly to die.
Oh.
Just a really fun, action-packed adventure. Just nonstop, really cool.
That will never come back to bite us in the ass.
No. But really cool, worth reading. It's a dope story. I enjoy it. And I think you will too if you haven't already read it. This is like just Zdarsky going for broke, but I really appreciate that he's not throwing the kitchen sink at it. It's just like, what if Batman were an unstoppable, unkillable robot? What if it's Terminator Batman? It's like, oh, well, then what if I really enjoyed it? How about that? Which I do.
So now what?
Now what? Now read the next one. It's dope. So
I just meant, you know.
Yeah.
Like, now what, Chip?
Right? Now what? I don't know. Did you open this?
No.
Okay, that was me. There was a book. I was like, why does Tiffany want this book?
I didn't. That was not me.
No.
It was not me.
But
sir.
Hey, let's talk about some books that are coming out this week, right after these super chats, that we should check out. Let me see here. I know I had a couple. Here we go. All right, Cat Lawyer will defend for treats. I'm taking a long flight home across the world, so getting YouTube Premium so I can download and binge back issues all the way. Does Premium help you guys? I think it does. I don't know.
No idea.
It should. And I know that a large portion of the audience does watch back issues using Premium, so I think it does. And Skaknunu97 says, "Hey guys, I love you." No, I love you too. Yeah, thank you. Please do Harbor Patrol again. I would like that.
I can't get out of the shot. No.
Yeah, you have to face it. But
Fine.
Yeah. So let's talk about some books that are coming out this week that we think you should check out.
Let's do that.
Amazing Spider-Man number 13. I like the last one. Zeb Wells, Ron John Reed Jr. Hobgoblins. Sounds fun. I'll check it out.
I really love this Hobgoblin face. He's like, what?
Yeah, he is like that. He's always like that. Dark Crisis on Infinite Earth number 6 is coming out. Joshua Williamson, Daniel St. Pierre. Penultimate issue.
Let's all shoot him with lasers.
That's what they're doing.
I know.
Can't wait. More Dark Crisis, yay. Hey, Dan Slott's Jay Leno show, Spider-Man 2 is out. Dan Slott, Mark Bagley, Shathra, Spider-Verse. Yep. Fine.
Cool.
Batman vs. Robin number 3. I'll read that. Mark Waid, Scott Godlewski. Sounds fun. I mean, the second issue is weird. We'll see what happens. Fantastic Four gets a new ongoing. It's from Ryan North. With
just gonna mention, like, I saw that in the list.
I know.
Like, what?
Iban Coelho is doing the art. There's a fun Alex Ross cover that is literally just like a homage to the Full Circle book that he did. That was all him.
Mm-hmm.
It's basically like an ad for his own book. I love it. Spider-Man: The Lost Hunt number 1 from J.M. DeMatteis and Eder Messias is out. Hell yes, J.M. DeMatteis on Spider-Man. It's a flashback book about the Bennett Riley period. I'm excited to see where this goes.
Well, someone wrote a book just for Greg,
and he's read it. The Death of Superman 30th Anniversary Special number 1 from Jerry Ordway, Roger Stern, and Louis Simonson, and more. It's the 30th anniversary. Superman died 30 years ago. This month, basically.
Wow.
And so there's a celebration, and so we'll see how that goes.
You're gonna want to celebrate that.
Yeah, I mean, it's the biggest Superman. It ruined comic books forever. Let's see how it goes. I'm just kidding. It's just, it changed comic books forever. Wildcats is out from Matthew Rosenberg with art by Steven Segovia. This is coming out tomorrow. Check out Wildcats. If you want more, check out Matthew Rosenberg's chat with us on this very show not 2 weeks ago. Dark Ride number 2 from Joshua Williamson and Andre Bresson is coming out. I'm looking forward to seeing where this book goes. I have not received a preview copy of this book, so I'm just on the same page as you. Can't wait to see where this goes. It's a weird, crazy ride. The Dark Ride from Skybound. Check it out. And Blood season 1 number 6 is coming out. I don't know. I think this is I don't know if this is the wrap up, but check it out. Blood Syndicate, it's out, and this is a cool team. I always liked them back in the day. And Tiffany, what do you got?
Moon Knight number 17 is coming out. So I'm gonna buy that.
Naturally.
It's just that's just a buy for me, right? I can't remember if I was reading Wolverine at this point. I don't know. Wolverine number 27 is coming out. So if you're reading that, it's written by Ben Percy with art by Juan Jose Rip. So you can make your choices there. Wolverine's one of those books I check in on occasion. I'm like, Nice House on the Lake number 11 is coming out.
Yep.
Ghost Rider number 8 is coming out. Marauders number 8 is coming out as well.
Is this going to be it? Is this going to be your make or break book?
Yeah.
Because you were oh my God.
I think this is it for me. We'll see. We'll see how this goes. Dawkins got a new costume. It's the whole
boy.
Thing. Legion of X number 7 is coming out, and I will definitely be buying that. That's a Cy Spurrier book with art by Netho Diaz.
Look at that cover. Holy crap.
Yeah, right?
Yay.
Look at that.
Yep.
So good.
Awesome.
Just I'm into this.
Awesome to the max.
Yeah, I really like Spurrier's work on this. And here comes the Omega issue, everybody. Judgment Day Omega number 1 is coming out. I know people are like, what an Omega issue. I would normally be like that, but I just can't get enough of Kieran Gillen. So I'm picking this up, written by Kieran Gillen with art by
Villanova.
Yep. I don't know how to say your first name. Guiyu? Maybe. I don't know. I'm trash. But I'm buying this book, so maybe that makes up for it. I don't know. If you wanted more Sabretooth, folks, you can get more Sabretooth. No, literally, people really like this book a lot. So Sabretooth and the Exiles number 1 is coming out, written by Victor Lavelle with art by Leonard Kirk. So if you're interested in that, you can go out and grab that too. I don't know if I'm going to be picking that up necessarily, but I wanted to give you a heads up because I feel like we talk a lot about X-Men, and we definitely did talk about Sabretooth as it was coming out.
It's true.
So I feel remiss if I don't say something about
That's
it.
fair. I should also mention that Lover Everlasting #4 is coming out. I do love Lover Everlasting. It's a great series. You can also read it for pennies on the dollar on their Substack, but if you want to support the industry, check it out in physical. That is a fun series. It's a weird book.
There's nothing wrong with weird books.
But Elsa Chatier and Tom King.
Absolutely. I just want to give a shout out the fact that they're like, hey, Black Panther, the movie's coming out. Black Panther book, the new #1's going to be on the shelf. Or at least I don't know if it's new.
About time.
Oh yeah, it's a limited series.
All right.
No, the writer is returning after a limited series. It's Black Panther Unconquered #1, written by Brian Hale with art by Alberto Foch.
Okay.
I'm not sure. Again, I just want to point this out because it's like they're trying to get that synergy going.
Yeah.
There. So hopefully it works out for them.
Yeah.
And that's all I got.
Well, there you have it. We want to thank you so much for hanging out with us. We should also thank our super chatters for sponsoring today's show.
Super chats.
There may be, in fact. We've got Gotham City Critics. Did you guys read the Paul Dana Riddler comics? No. And Supreme Omega on Morrison. Fans praise them as great, almost infallible writer, but I don't know. In hindsight, their Batman run, I wish Morrison was reined in more. Me too. Big time, in fact. You'll see a book that Morrison wrote in which I'm like, your interpretation of the Fantastic Four is straight up wrong.
There you go.
But I still enjoyed it, and it's still a cool book, so I guess it all wraps up. I guess it all pays off in the end. But we want to thank you all so much for hanging out with us. We're really lucky to have you. Thank you to our super chatters for sponsoring today's show. Thank you to our regular viewers for watching and for commenting and for chatting. We're very lucky to have you, and we couldn't do it without you. So thank you for your support. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to our channel, go to patreon.com/ComicPop to support us directly, and all the other ads that we hate and need to say because otherwise you wouldn't do it. The fact is, I found out if we didn't have Twitter, we wouldn't have 200 views. 200 whole views didn't come out of would come out of Twitter.
Ooh.
It's one of those things. It's like we gotta do the song and dance. Gotta shake the can and be like, hey, change. Hey there, commenters, change. Anyway, we'll see you guys next time with another episode of Off the Rack. And watch Tiffany on twitch.tv/ComicPop or check out her streams or both over on ComicPop Plays. So long, everybody. Bye.
Bye.